What's going on, everyone? It is Elder J. Chris, and I am here on Magnificent Monday, and you're watching Positive Days. Listen, I just want to thank you, as I do every day, for just taking the time out that you do have. Time is precious for you just watching these videos and sharing them with others. You know, this week we are talking about a very touchy subject of you talking about God, but you ain't talking to me. It's about dealing with a point that a lot of us will go through, are going through, have gone through, to where we just don't feel in touch with either the church we're at, the pastor, what we're watching on TV. As we're trying to get, you know, this connection. We're trying to get closer. We're trying to turn our life around. We're trying to say, okay, yeah, I know I need to get back in this thing, or I need to move further in this thing. I need to stay in this thing, but I need help. So you're seeking. You're like, you talking about God, but you're not talking to me. And that can cause such a divisive energy in our lives. So we're dealing with that. This is a week of empowerment where we're going to change that whole perspective that sometimes we go through. So today, God took me to Genesis 22. And most of you know this story. Some, it may be a reintroduction, and some maybe have never heard it before. But this is where God calls to Abraham and tells him to go take his son Isaac, go on and march him on up that hill on the mountain, build an altar, and sacrifice him. That in itself sounds crazy, but you need to understand that Isaac himself was not just a blessing, but a miracle blessing. You know, Abraham was way past his prime, as well as his wife, way past her prime of even conceiving a child. But yet God had promised it to him. And that promise became a touchable blessing. You know, what that reminds me about is sometimes as we're feeling like you're talking about God, but you're not talking to me. Well, we just can't, we hear the word, but we can't see ourselves in it. We can't see how God is trying to, you know, communicate, how God is trying to give confirmation. We just ain't getting nothing. We are running on E, and every tank, every gas station we go to ain't got no gas in it. But you know, sometimes the problem is, God is talking to you, and you even hear him, but you don't like what he got to say. It's more like, I know you ain't talking to me. Not you talking about God, but you ain't talking to me, but you talking about God, and I know you ain't talking to me. You better not be talking to me. The message, God, what you trying to tell me affects something that's way too valuable that I'm not prepared to give up, ain't giving up. I'm holding on to it for dear life. I waited too long. I've worked too hard to just hand that over. Sometimes God is trying to see if you trust him enough to let go of the thing you value the most. Do you trust him enough that if you let it go, he will give you back more than you could ever think? He would give you more than you even know how to ask him for. Sometimes God is like, you value that. That's your treasure? That. It was a blessing, but I got so much more for you. But if you can't see that is just the tip, the minimum of what I got for you, how can I give you more? Because you'll never let that go. You'll never free your hands enough for me to bless you more. Sometimes we just don't want to hear it. I mean, It's hard to say. That is hard to face the facts. It's hard to look at ourselves in the mirror and actually admit, I knew that was you, but I didn't like what you had to say. I closed my ears, put my hands over them, closed my eyes, and went la 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 la, because I did not only want to hear you, but I didn't want to do it, or am not going to do it. We don't ever really want to admit we're that disobedient. But sometimes what God is asking requires that much faith that it's hard for us to see. It's hard for us to see the victory, the treasure in that trial. But that's what it is. Have faith that God would never ask you to lose something, to voluntarily give up something without plans on not only replacing it, but adding to it exponentially, making it bigger than you could ever think. That means he has to do something in you so you can have the capacity to handle that much bigger. So it's not just even giving you a bigger blessing, it's making you bigger so you can handle the bigger blessing. So next time you feel like, I know you ain't talking to me, maybe change that to think, if you talking to me and asking me something that crazy, God, you about to do something great. And just to know, just so you know, Abraham, of course, didn't have to kill Isaac. God stopped him before he went through with it. Just wanted to know, did he trust him enough to lose it? Do you trust God enough to give it up? That thing you treasure the most? Read this story and you'll see how Abraham was blessed beyond what he could ever have imagined, just because he proved his faith. He just didn't talk that faith, he worked that faith. He showed his faith. And God had to respond. Hey, I know this was a little bit longer, but I had to get deeper into it. This is Elder J. I don't know what you're about to do with that. But promise me something. You'll marinate on it. You'll think about it. You'll look in the mirror. And after you've looked for a while, you do something with it. This is Elder J. Always, you know how I come. In peace and love. God bless you.